Fantastic. And now I'm going to dive straight into my slides. So buckle up, and hopefully you'll be able to enjoy the ride. So let me see this one. So, yeah. Welcome to those who have just joined. Gonna bring up my slide if I find it. Yeah. Okay, I hope you all can see my slide. Today, we're going to be talking about dementia. Uh, this presentation has been inspired by Love Biome's P84 solution in combination with myself, Pi. Now, I want you just for a moment to imagine this. Every 65 seconds, someone in America develops dementia. Here in the UK, we have to talk about the numbers as well, because denial is easy when you think it's someone else's problem. 850,000 people in the UK currently live with dementia. 1 in every 6 people over 80 has it right now. But here's the caveat. Only 43% have been diagnosed. That means more than half are walking around with undiagnosed brain deterioration, brushing it off as just old age, or pretending that it'll go away with vitamins and good vibes. Now, dementia doesn't wait for your schedule. It doesn't respect your brand, and it doesn't need your permission to progress. Now, what if I told you dementia isn't mysterious, but mathematical? That, like any equation, it follows laws. Now, long before memory fades, the formula had already failed. However, the mind was at work. So today we're going to decode that. So today we're not just going to talk about dementia. We're here to expose the forgotten links and unlock defense strategies from within with the help of Love Biome's P84. Now, how many of us preach wellness, but behind the lens or the mask, our body is sprinting into decline? Many wear supplements like status symbols, while insulin and statin stock up in our pill trays, because I've seen it. So this is also for the deniers, the performers, even the hustlers, and the medicine-dependent survivors. Because you see, dementia sees your disregard, and it doesn't describes a wide range of symptoms associated with a decline in memory or other thinking skills severe enough to reduce a person's ability to perform everyday activities. The problems with memory, having trouble remembering the date and the day of the week, forgetting the names of people or things, struggling to remember things that happened recently, even though you remember things from long ago, forgetting where you put something or where things are kept. We have problems with thinking skills, feeling that your thoughts or memories are clouded, finding it takes you longer to process information, struggling to follow conversation. How many of us are going through this? Getting yourself in a muddle and being unable to arrange things in the right order. Finding that your decision making is actually affected. So, for example, cooking too much or too little. Other things that you would generally do off the bat. How many of us are disorientated? Feeling confused or even lost in a familiar place? Being out and forgetting where you were going or how to get there? How many of us know somebody like this? Getting confused between night and day. Problems with spatial awareness. The list goes on. Moods and personality changes. Experiencing mood swings. Becoming irritable or short-tempered. Losing interest in hobbies and socializing. As we get older, many of us experience symptoms like these from time to time. Dementia-like symptoms can be caused by depression, vitamin deficiencies, stress, thyroid problems, or urinary tract infections. So if you're worried, in the first instance, I would respectfully suggest you seek out your local GP or doctor for clarity. Because I must be very clear here. I am not a doctor. And I am not a nutritionist. I'm a mathematician, as I mentioned, by trade. So I always look at the numbers. Because within numbers lies the truth. So, as I mentioned, dementia isn't a disease in itself. It's a term used to describe symptoms caused by other diseases that affect the brain. Knowing the type of dementia means treatment can be more specific to an individual's needs. And the most common types of dementia are Alzheimer's. And Alzheimer's is a form of dementia that targets the part of the brain that controls memory, language, and thought. Alzheimer's and dementia often get confused with one another, which can cause upset and confusion. So it's important that we understand this. There is also vascular dementia, and that is the second most common type of dementia after Alzheimer's disease. Now, this type of dementia is caused when the brain becomes damaged due to lack of blood supply, for instance, following a stroke. And there are many other. Some are rare, and they're types of dementia such as I think it's I can't remember the term on that one, but it's a frontotemporal dementia, from what I understand. And we have Lewy bodies. And conditions such as multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, um, as I mentioned, the many different types of related conditions can be confusing and overwhelming if you have received a dementia diagnosis or know someone with it. So, it's really important that you ask uh, the right people the right questions. All right. Now, there doesn't seem to be a single cause of dementia, but current research suggests a combination of factors affect our overall risk of developing dementia. Research suggests that age is the most significant factor. The risk of developing dementia increases with age. Genetics don't actually seem to play a significant part in our risk of developing dementia, even if our parents or relatives have it or have had it. It's only in some cases of early onset dementia where there appears to be a stronger genetic link. But when you look at the stats, again, it's very rare. Also, another risk is unhealthy lifestyles, which can have also, and it's also been shown to increase our risk of dementia. And the key is, what can we do? Those following, those following um, a healthy lifestyle have been shown to have a lower risk of dementia. So doing what protects your health as well as staying active can be beneficial. So therefore, the best aims is to eat a varied diet containing lots of fruit and vegetables. Eat less salty and fatty foods, especially those high in saturated fat. Drink alcohol in moderation. Stop smoking. Take regular exercises. And enjoy an active life with plenty of outside interest. All right, and it's important that you ask the doctor for a checkup as often as to keep your blood glucose well controlled if you have diabetes. So, before we move on, most people assume dementia, most people assume dementia is more severe than Alzheimer's disease. However, according to recent studies, Alzheimer's is more severe than dementia. Alzheimer's disease cannot be accurately diagnosed, making it very difficult to manage. So consequently, this makes dementia more severe than Alzheimer's disease. Alrighty? Now, I'm a mathematician by trade. It's really important. It's really important that as a mathematician, you break down what is being said. Because sometimes when people talk about dementia and Alzheimer's, we don't really often know what one is actually referring to. So it's really important that we kind of break it down into simple terms. So now that we understand the urgency of acting early, let's break down exactly what we're trying to protect, which is our cognitive power. Now, memory is equal to retention multiplied by recall. So memory isn't just about storing information. It's about being able to retrieve it when we need it. Now, retention is the warehouse, so to speak. Recall is the delivery truck. So without one, the other is useless. Concentration, and that is equal to focus divided by distraction. Now, concentration is about keeping the spotlight where it belongs. The brighter our focus and the fewer distractions in the way, the more effective our mental performance. Now, the modern world is a minefield for this equation, believe me when I tell you. because distraction is everywhere. Judgment. Well, that is equal to knowledge plus experience minus emotions. Now, judgment is where wisdom lives. It's the sum of what you know, multiplied by what you've been through, tempered by the ability to set back from impulsive emotions. So it's decision making in its purest form. And then we have cognitive power, which is equal to memory multiplied by focus multiplied by judgment. But when you multiply these together, strong memory, sharp focus, sound judgment, we get cognitive power. This is what drives problem solving, learning, and resilience. So the tragedy of cognitive decline is that it chips away at each of these building blocks. First, a little memory, then focus, then decision. But the opportunity is this: by supporting brain health at every level, especially through gut-brain interventions like P84, we can help preserve the full equation for as long as possible. Alrighty, so we've talked about the building blocks of cognitive power, memory, focus, and judgment. But there's a hidden system influencing all three, and most people overlook it entirely, and that is the gut. But there's something they don't teach us in most clinics. Your brain does have a twin, and it lives in your gut. The gut-brain axis, which is a super highway of chemical messages, controls inflammation, moods, cognition, and even memory. And even memory. If you've got your mic on, please mute it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Right. Okay. Now, if you damage your microbiome, you damage your mind. Stress, poor food, antibiotics, sugar, they erode this terrain. The gut becomes leaky, the brain becomes foggy. The link between gut health and dementia isn't a theory. It's science finally catching up with ancient wisdom. I paused there for a moment because I mentioned about leaky gut. I was working away for a while, for about a year, in Bermuda. Sounds like paradise, idyllic, sand, sea, women, food, you name it, it's all there. And I was there working for a year. And during my time there, I found that my ankles started to swell. I was frequenting the bathroom 6, 7 times for the night, which means I wasn't getting a lot of sleep, which caused mood swings. I had no idea what was going on. I felt that I was very fit because I swimming every day. And I realized on that journey that being fit and being healthy are not the same. I was losing weight. Prior to the illness, I felt when I looked in the mirror that I was the children's superhero. During the illness, I felt like their sidekick. And that's the mind doing overtime. My point being was that for a period of time, I stuck my head in the sand because I was afraid. Because that's what illness, sickness, disease, that's what it does. We become afraid. And we often lean on the understanding of ourselves without seeking clarity. That being said, I went and got blood tests, scans, everything, you name it. And it came back not with what I expected. I didn't have cancer. I didn't have cholesterol. I didn't have a number of the other issues that we can list. But I had a leaky gut, which meant that I was functioning at a 45 to 55 gut microbiome ratio, which simply means that the bad gut was far superior than the good. The bad germs overpowered the good germs. The good ratio should be 80 to 20 or 85 to 15, within that realm. And so I was way off. I was way off the mark. And it was causing a domino effect. It was causing bad circulation. It was causing I enlarged prostate. All of these things and much more. The weight loss was being caused because of the leaky gut. And it was only once I was turned on to a product, because I went and I got checked and I was being offered certain types of medication. And when you look at the side effects, for me, it wasn't worth it. When you do the numbers, for me, the numbers did not add up. And so I sought an alternative, and I was put in front of Love Biome products. And I was started on the Daily 3, which is a detox, a balance, and sachets of fruit and veg. And these fruit and veg are combined in a manner that it's done under mass and science control. And I'm telling you, it was an absolute game changer. That's all I can tell you. The Daily 3 has now been superseded by the P84, and that's a double game changer. And I digress slightly to share my personal journey to tie in with the fact that I'm coming from a standpoint of not being well. I'm not coming from a point, an angle whereby I just want to present and share this with you. No, 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 no. I probably wouldn't have the time, or I say I wouldn't have the time. But because I was ill, because of the journey that I went through, because of when I came out the other side, I realized there were many others who were on a similar journey, regardless of the illness. And if you come across something that is going to help others, then why not share it? That being said, as I mentioned, this is something that they don't really teach us in most clinics about the gut-brain connection. Now, when, for those who don't know, our gut is home to trillions of bacteria, and they don't just digest food. They produce neurotransmitters, they regulate inflammation, and they communicate directly with our brain via the vagus nerve. So this is the gut-brain axis in action. So in other words, our brains function off of signals, not words, signals. And those signals come via the gut. and they travel via the vagus nerve to the brain. The brain gets the signal and acts upon the signal. So if those signals are eroded or fuzzy or faded, it can cause all sorts of mental issues. If one is being treated for any illness, where do they head first? Where do they head for first? Whatever medication you take has to go via the gut. I say that to say, when our gut microbiome is balanced, this system works smoothly, supporting mood, mental clarity, and long-term cognitive resilience. This is not me saying this. These are things that one can research for themselves. But when that balance is lost through poor diet, stress, medication, or illness, the gut can become inflamed. Permeability increases and harmful bacteria take over, creating an imbalance. Now, these changes send signals, stress signals, to the brain, which disrupts neurotransmitter production and increases the risk of cognitive decline and dementia over time. I mentioned earlier in the presentation that dementia is not mystical, it's mathematical. Our health is not mystical, it's mathematical. If you break an arm, there is a time frame as to when your arm should get better, as long as you follow the process or the solution that they've offered. So why is it that many of us, we have certain illnesses, certain diagnosed disease, and we spend years on medication? Years. If health is not mystical, but mathematical, why are you not being solved? Why is the problem not being solved? Now, this is where the opportunity, lies. If we can restore and protect gut balance, we can positively influence brain health, because the brain communicates from the gut via the vagus nerve. This is an actual fact. And if we can restore and protect gut balance, we can positively influence brain health, potentially slowing decline and enhancing cognitive power. So that's why targeted nutritional interventions are so important. And in a moment, we'll look at how Love Biome's P84 formula is designed to do exactly that. Support a thriving gut ecosystem, and in turn, a sharper, more resilient mind. Alrighty, so, and this is where the future begins. Enter Love Biome's P84. And it's not just a supplement, but a strategic microbiome defender, engineered to restore balance where it matters most, deep in the ecosystem of your gut. Now, with precision targeted support for healthy gut flora, P84 amplifies nutrients, fine-tunes immune balance, and dials down inflammatory signals that can be accelerated, that can accelerate brain aging. Now, this isn't just gut health, family. It's cognitive armor. It's cellular resilience, protecting the brain cell by cell. And it's a long game strategy. Believe me when I tell you this. But it's designed to safeguard the mental vitality of health risk communities for years to come. Because when you optimize the microbiome, and I keep going back to that, you're not just improving digestion, you're building a neutral fortress, a fortress against decline, against loss, against time itself. So let's dive a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole. So we have P84, which consists of phytopower 1 and phytopower 2. So this is phytopower 1, which is the foundation, a concentrated fusion of essential whole foods your gut flora craves. Every serving delivers a spectrum of plant-based power, flooding your microbiome with the raw materials it needs to flourish. Now, this isn't about adding nutrients. It's about feeding life itself, I should say. I was trying to find the right words there. And this gives you phytopower 1. Look at the colors that you're getting. There's nothing here that is not familiar in some shape or form. Many of these are what we try to purchase when we go to the local markets. But you know what's happening there, right? We all know what's happening in there. So this is all that is in phytopower number 1. Phytopower 2. Well, phytopower 2 takes it further. This is botanical intelligence at work, as I would say. And it's carefully chosen plants, compounds working in harmony to calm what? Inflammation, restore balance, and shield cells from oxidative stress, which is nature's most powerful defenders, condensed into one strategic blend. So I'm now sharing with you components that sit in phytopower 2. As we can see, again, we've got all the colors there, the nutrients, detox blend, precursor blends, inflammatory reduction blends, assistant blend. It's all there. It's all there. As I mentioned, I'm not a nutritionist and I'm not a doctor. But research is at our fingertips, family. It's all there. And all we have to really do is go and get it, condense it, and put it in one place where we can get a level of understanding. So how does P84 work? Well, the magic of phytopower 1, diversity. Every fiber, polyphenol, and micronutrient becomes food for a wider range of beneficial bacteria. The more diverse our gut flora, the stronger our gut-brain axis, and the more resilient our mind becomes against decline. And as you can see, the digestive enzymes help the body break down different materials in foods like fat, protein, sugar, and dairy to provide energy and nutrient for the body. If we had to go out and kind of create this for ourselves and buy all of the different fruits, we'd have to remortgage, as well as getting the right combinations and putting it together and sourcing it. from the right place. P84 has been sourced from 6 continents around the world. 84 nutrients, different combinations. So for us to do that, it's possible, but the probabilities are very unlikely. So what about Phytopower 2? Again, Phytopower 2 is our reset button. It works to neutralize toxins, reduce gut permeabilities, and restore the microbial equilibrium, the balance that our body depends on. Balance isn't a luxury, family. It's the line between thriving and decline. This is where our microbiome finds its rhythm again. It's very hairline. It's a thin line between being sane and insane. The mind shifts depending on what's going on in the microbiome, because your microbiome sends the signals via the vagus nerve through the gut. From the gut, via the vagus nerve to the brain. All right, so we've just seen how Phytopower 1 feeds and diversifies, how Phytopower 2 balances and detoxes. And together they set the stage for P84's full power. But here's the thing. Your brain is already a mathematician. Every single day, without even knowing it, you're solving equations. Should I trust this? How long will that take? What's my next move? From what to eat for breakfast to how to navigate a tough decision. Our mind is constantly running the numbers, weighing the variables, and finding what? The answers. And just like any equation, the quality of the outcome depends entirely on the quantity of the inputs. So imagine what's happening when the input, which is your gut health, your nutrition absorption, your microbiome balance, are all upgraded to the highest level. Well, that's what P84 does. It doesn't just fuel the equation, it changes the maths in our favor. I've got a little bit of maths here because I need us to understand there's no point in me putting P84 in front of you and telling you everything it does, because that's all very verbal. And it may go over the heads of some of us. It may lodge. It may trigger something. But as I mentioned in the outset, it's really important that we understand numbers. When they're put in front of us, what is their purpose, what they do. Because life is not mystical. Our health is not mystical. It's mathematical. So that being said, so here we go deeper, because P84 isn't just a name, it's a formula. Phytopower 1, Phytopower 2. 1 plus 2 equals 84. So that's what it says. Now, the numbers themselves, they matter, because every great system, from the way nature grows a leaf to how your body regulates hormones to the structures of galaxy, is underpinned by numbers. They're the silent architects of reality. So when you take the time to break a number down, to trace it to its source, you uncover the truth that built it. And truth gives you power. But here's the danger. Most people don't look. They accept the headlines, the labels, the surface story. Ignorance of the numbers means we live blind to the patterns shaping our lives, our decision, our entire journey. So today we break that pattern. Today we look inside the equation, because the moment you understand the maths, you stop guessing and you start steering your own future. Right, so how can 1 plus 2 equal 84? Because in the fundamental world, 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Well, when you're dealing with the gut microbiome, it talks about trillions of things going on inside, of all bits and bobs going on inside it. Trillions. You couldn't count that in linear format because you'd be here all day long. So they use a unit of maths. It's called when you raise a number to a power. What that simply means is that, for example, in this sum, 1 plus 2 is equal to 84. We are taking the number 2 and we are raising it to the power of 6. Well, what does that mean, Pi? Well, raising a number to a power of 6 simply means that you are multiplying that number by itself 6 times. So it's not 2 times 6. What it is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So you do that 6 times. And that will give you 64. So 64 plus 1 is equal to 65. Well, we're getting a lot closer to the 84, but that's not the answer. Well, why don't we raise the 2 to the power of 7? Well, if we did that 2 times 2 times 2, we did that 7 times, that would actually give us 128, which is way past the 84. So we know that the 2 in this equation is equal to 84. 64, sorry. So if we take 64 away from 84, which is the total, that will leave us with 20, which tells us that the phyto power 1 is 20 and phyto power 2 is 64. So therefore 1 plus 2 is equal to 20 plus 64, which is equal to 84. And that is how you get P84. So you can see the numbers that they've used to get to 84. But here is the caveat. Here's the caveat. If there are only 9 numbers, because there are only 9 numbers, there are only 9 numbers. Every other number, whether it be a double number or a treble number, is a compound number. And if you have a compound number, the only way you can get to the truth of that number is by going to the root. No different than an illness. If you want to solve the illness, get to the root. So what is the root of this number? Because we want to see where the truth is. So how do we do that? Well, we know there are only 9 numbers. So 84 must be a compound number. Well, if we add 8 plus 4, that will give us 12. Okay, so now we're getting closer. Can you put your mic on mute, please? Now we are getting closer. 8 plus 4 gives us 12. But that's still a compound number. And we want to get to the root. So again, we have to add those 2 numbers. 1 plus 2 gives us 3. So you can see that this number meets truth. Because when you put something in a circle, it will go all the way around and meet itself. That is truth. They've said that phyto power 1 and phyto power 2 is equal to 84. 84 is a compound number. I've done the maths to show you how they get 84. And now we need to find out the truth behind 84. So when we go 1 plus 2, it is equal to 3. In the fundamental world of mathematics, 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. And there we have it. Well, so as I mentioned, the aim is to break down the pattern, to look inside the equation, because when you understand the maths, you stop guessing and you start steering your own future. Now, 2,500 years ago, 2,500 years ago, a man called Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, said all disease begins in the gut. Think about that. Before microscopes, before blood tests, before the word microbiome even existed, he knew, he understood that the root cause of health or illness starts with what's happening inside this system, your gut. And here's where it gets wild, family. Hippocrates wasn't just making a poetic observation. He was speaking to a universal truth. The body is a system, and every system is made up of what? Numbers, ratio, balance, equations. When the numbers in the gut add up, the right bacteria, the right nutrient absorption, the right anti-inflammatory balance, the equation equals health. Change those numbers and the output changes. That's when decline begins. Well, P84 is a modern translation of that ancient wisdom. We're not guessing, family, because health is not mystical. We're calculating. We're feeding the right variables, balancing the equation, and letting the numbers work in our favor. Hippocrates gave us the principle. Today, we have the proof, and the maths doesn't lie. Okay, well, let's talk about the numbers no one wants to see. Now, family, this isn't small change. This is the size of the market built on our pain, our fatigue, our brain fog, our sleepless nights. Digestive health, $72 billion. Weight release, $21 billion. Sleep aids, $75 billion. Hydration, immune support, antidepressants, probiotics. Add it all up, and you're staring at hundreds of billions of dollars every single year. This is the maths, family. This is the mathematics that we're talking about here. And here's the kicker. These figures are projected to explode into the trillions by 2040. Now ask yourself, if this much money is being made off illness, where's the financial incentive to cure it? Big Pharma ain't in the business of creating health. They're in the business of managing disease, managing illness. Because a customer who's cured is a lost customer. As long as you stay on the treadmill of symptoms and prescriptions, you keep the medicine running. That's the system. And the only way to win is to step outside of it. So that's why what we're talking about today matters. P84 isn't about managing our decline. It's about building a foundation so strong you no longer fit their business model. Because our health, family, shouldn't be someone else's revenue stream. It should be our greatest asset. If the projected figures 2040 is 1 trillion. And the ones who are projecting these figures are pharmaceutical companies and their aides themselves. That tells you that they are managing, not curing. Otherwise, the numbers would be going down and not going up. It's all about making the numbers add up, family. It's all about making the numbers add up. So, we're nearly there, family. We are nearly there. Right now, you're standing in front of 2 doors. We have door number 1. Now, door number 1 was where I rolled into this because even though I wasn't well, I was skeptical. And human nature is like that. When somebody's telling us something or sharing something with us, we're very skeptical. And I get it. And I understand it. Door number 1, you can become a customer. What that simply means is, if you've heard anything today that resonates and you want to know more, or you're carrying an illness or a sickness and you want to know more, you want to go down the rabbit hole, you can just become a customer, which means you can purchase the product, the P84, and let it do its thing on you to see how it works. What I would say to you is that once you go down that rabbit hole, it's important that you stay on the product for a minimum of 180 days. Why do I say this? Because it's all about the numbers, family. This is why I say this. Your red blood cells, they change every 120 days. So to be on the product allows it to get through the system. Yes. And then after that, you can actually see and start reaping the benefits following on from the 120 days, which is the other 60 days. There are people who, and me included, who were recognizing results prior to the 120 days. Once I realized what I was on, I didn't stop. I didn't stop because I knew I was onto a good thing. So you can go down door number 1, rabbit hole number 1, and become a customer and sign up. And then you would have to ask the person who invited you here how you can get the best price. How can I get the best price on the product? And they will direct you accordingly. Alternatively, you can go down rabbit hole number 2. Door 2, become a subscriber and a partner. And you don't just transform your health, you transform your wealth. You build a business you can run from anywhere on your time with a potential to replace, even surpass your current income. And it is possible, family. And here's the thing, whichever door you walk through, P84 works the same magic. It feeds your gut flora, strengthens your gut-brain connection, reduces inflammation, and lays the foundation for lasting cognitive health. Door number 1 changes your health. Door number 2 has the potential to change your life. The only wrong choice is standing still. And I say this to say, family, that I was there. I was there. Once I took the product for myself and I realized the benefits, you want to go further down the rabbit hole. And when you go further down the rabbit hole, you're exposed to other things, other products that change your life, other way of doing things. But I'm not here to sell that. I'm here originally because of my health. And I know it's a game changer. This is why I say anybody who wants to become a customer, test the water for yourself. You have nothing to lose and all to gain. And this is not just for those who are ill, who are sick, who have diseases. It's also for those who don't, which allows them to maintain. If you are ill, family, if you are sick, if you have a disease, they all come from one place. They all come from one place. And if you are taking medications and it is not solving the problem, you have nothing to lose and all to gain. If I can say to you, I put a number on it and say you have to take it for a minimum of 180 days. Why do I do that? I said because numbers exposes truth. You're just taking medication year in, year out. Your health now becomes mystical. So, here's the truth. You can't always rewrite your genetics, but you can redesign your terrain. You can choose to nourish your mind from the inside out. You can choose clarity over confusion, longevity over slow decline, presence over absence. And you can fight not just for your mind, but for the generations that will follow you. This isn't just health. This is reclamation. This is reparation. Forget my words for a moment. Love Biome P84 defends the future family. It recodes the equation and it remembers who you are. And this is all before the clock runs out. So that being said, I'm going to stop my share because I know I've said quite a bit today, and I'm going to, in the first instance, offer the floor to those who would possibly like to chime in from an experience that they may have had, or somebody that they know, to hear any testimonies from anybody who is going through dementia or any forms of dementia, and what are they doing? They may be able to share something that we can glean from. You know, truth is a dual carriageway, family. It's a two-way street, and so it's important that I share what it is I know, and it allows you to share what you all know, because we're all fractions. It's only when we come together we are one. So that being said, is if there's anybody that would like to say something, feel free to put your hand up. I'll give out some details after as to how one can get in touch if they are interested and require more information. As I said, this is not, I'm not here to to just sell. I'm here to share because I know what illness is like. I know what it's all about. I know what it does to the mind. And I know there are many of us going through what we are going through. The maths will tell us that there may be 15 of us on this platform, yeah, but it also tells me that there are 1, 2, 3, there are also 4 chronic issues on this platform. And that's not me just saying it, that's the mathematics. That is the numbers.
May I speak?
Of course.
Is
Brother
this a black
Shola, go ahead.
is this a black owned company that does this product or
Is is the company a black owned company? That's a good question. Um, as far as I know, the CEOs on this company and directors are not black. There are a number of individuals at that level who are black, but the founder of the company is not black.
okay.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my sister. Well, good afternoon here in the UK. I'm not
I,
sure
I
where you
think
are.
I am calling from Jacksonville, Florida,
Wow.
and I would like to answer the person's question.
Please go ahead.
These products are given by God. These products are given by God our Father. These products are not human products. They are God-given products. When God put us on the earth, He gave us plants, natural plants, so that we can survive. We lost our way, but because of one individual who happened to be Caucasian, he has went and developed, no, well, not developed, but he has found where these products are grown in a non-chemical environment so he can help us to get health and get wealth. So this is the God-given product. Please turn your mind around. This is a God-given product. This is not man-made. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I want to thank the brother for his question, and I also want to thank the sister for her response. And if I could just add a mathematical twist here, because you see, I understand pain. Pain is not a color. I have to deal with numbers because it makes things tangible. If you're drowning in the sea and a hand comes out before you take your last breath, a hand comes out to pull you out, you're not bothered whether it's black or white. I say this to say that when one experiences pain, all they want is truth to alleviate the pain, to get to the source. I mentioned earlier in my presentation that we are very skeptical. We have been conditioned that way because if I was a doctor with a white coat on and a stethoscope and a bag load of medication, my phone will probably be on meltdown. So I get it. I understand that. I'm not here to say black or white because it's not about color for me. I'm here to let you know that if you heard something today that resonates, then open your ears wider, open your mind, and take more in. Because it's only when you do that you will get to the truth. Because if what you're on is not working, at what point do you seek an alternative? And so if what you're on is working, that's fine, share it. But I don't think it's really appropriate about the color thing. And I get it. I do get it. And I understand it. But truth is truth, regardless of where it comes from. That's all. But thank you, my brother, for your question. And thank you, sister, for the answer.
There's just one more thing as well
Go ahead, my brother. Go
that I'm
ahead.
curious about. Sorry, I wasn't trying to be divisive, by the way, with the black
Not
and
at
things.
all.
Just I want
Not
I
at
want to
all, my
support my
brother.
own where possible.
Go ahead.
What makes this product different to say something like Mari and Dina?
Okay. You asked a beautiful question. What makes it different? Well, here's the caveat. I can tell you what makes it different for me. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what makes it different for someone else. And so what I've shared with you is what makes it different. I've taken Marandina. I've taken all of these supplements and what have you, and they have their uses, no doubt about that. What I'm telling you is this, is that once I get to understand the microbiome and what it requires, I've come across a product that ticks all the boxes. Now, I didn't go out and get my soapbox and just started singing from the highest tower. No, I used the product. I saw the turnaround. And once the turnaround kicked in, I had to share it. And that's what I done. And so what makes it different than Marandino? Well, Marandino is a product that I took, and you notice certain little differences, what have you. But what were you expected to? It didn't tell you what you were expected to really get. What was supposed to be the end result? You might have felt a little bit better, but what was really the end result? With the P84, it's specific, targeted probiotics that do certain jobs, that create certain equations in your body to create balance. And once you have balance in your gut, that is when the truth speaks. Your gut is there to protect you from illnesses that come our way. Our gut is our walking ecosystem, our walking chemist. And during our lifetime, the shelves get empty because of our lifestyle, because of how we eat, how we live. And so we have to restack the shelf. And that's what P84 does. I'm not here to tell you that P84 cures anything. I am not a doctor and I am not a nutritionist. But what I can tell you is this, that with P84, it creates gut microbiome balance. And once you have the balance, your gut takes over and solves the problem. What can I say? And that's what it's done for me. And there are no side effects because it's only fruits, vegetables, and they're combined in a manner over a period of time, a special combination that brings out the end result, which is a mathematical equation. That's the only way that I could put it. So I hope that answered your question. Brother Cleverill in the house, go ahead.
Good morning, afternoon, Brother Pi. How are you?
I'm very well, sir. How are you?
Okay, fine.
Good.
I'm just I came onto the presentation just about when you started. You said you was going to stop sharing, but I've been to your platform before. Hopefully, I will see you later on this afternoon on the men's program.
Sure.
But what I'm trying to say is, I have tried the P84, and to me, the P84 is a good, very good product. As one of the callers say, it is God-given. I have many experiences, and one of them I would like to share. I went to the barber because I have my regular barber. I went to him after I had a trim, cut my hair. He had a look. He said, "What's happening to you?" It's like I'm going bald because he said when I cut hair, I haven't seen that before. I was losing hair. There's a big spot. So I said, "Oh, maybe I'm getting bald now." So after a couple of times, I'm on the product, and then I went back to him a couple times to have my hair cut. And I said to him, "What have you noticed?" He said to me, "Oh, the hair is growing." The bald patch had disappeared. My hair started growing again. And I'm on the product. And I have many other testimonies. I had a wart, which was growing very big on part of my body. Then I realized by taking the P84, the wart shrink completely down. I said, no, my body was getting properly detoxed, properly nourished, because before the P84, that wasn't happening. I feel happy with myself every day, and I could say, yes, I'm happy for this P84, and I'm willing to share with anybody and everybody this product. So thank you for having me to share, Brother Pi, for listening to me.
Brother Clever, but before you go, just a couple of quick questions. How long before you were on the P84 before you actually noticed these results that you're mentioning?
I didn't notice the bald patch before because I'm always going to my barber. And I had already taken before the P84 came out. I started the product with the original. We had the bottles of the Balance and the Tox. We had the bigger bottles. So I already started the program with the original. And I know my body has been starting to get alkaline because they said after 120 days your body start making new blood cells. But at that point, during those times, I know that I didn't see any of those things happening to me. But I wasn't on the P84 yet. It was not the original. And then I realized that I was getting bald. A big spot came into my head. And then when I went to work, some staff was saying to me, "What's happening to you there?" But then, as I'm on the P84, I proved it. My hair grew. My hair just grew back. And every day I looked at it, and I see it's growing. And then I had this wart, was there all the time, and the wart shrink, completely shrink. So I know it's because my body is being toxin balanced because I get proper food.
And what's the reason why you took the P84 in the first place? What was the reason for that, if you don't mind me asking? Because obviously
Well,
all these other things are now the benefits are add-on. So what was initially?
Well, the reason why I took the P84 is because I realized and I was told that it has 84 microbiome friendly ingredients and added probiotics and added stuff that the body don't produce. So the P84 came as a masterpiece with a lot of things added into it that our body don't produce and we need it daily. So there and then my body was in dysbiosis, and I know my body was in this dysbiosis because when I listen to all the programs and I get to learn about dysbiosis, I realized, yes, something was happening to me. So I had to change, I eat properly, and by using this P84, everything is getting back to the way it is. And I'm always into health products, into natural plant life, and always willing to learn and do things differently.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your testimony, my brother. I appreciate love you coming on and adding that value. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Pi. See you later.
You're very welcome. Look forward to it. I just want to jump on the point that the sister made earlier, because she made a profound statement about the product being from God. And I love that, and I love these statements, because for me, it's really about, well, let me do the numbers. And as soon as she made that statement and I did the numbers, it added up. And I'm going to share with you very quickly how it added up. Product is from God. That was a statement the sister made. Profound. Well, when you looked at the presentation and we looked at the maths, when we looked at the maths, we saw we could take 84, 1 plus 2, which is equal to 84, and we could also make it 3 fundamentally. But the reason why this product is from God, why? Well, there is only one number that sits in every other number. And that's the God number, which is number 1. The 1. It's the only number that sits in every other number. Scripturally, the Creator is in all of us. Every one of us has a microbiome. So the statement is on par. And I want to thank the sister for making that point, because I didn't even calculate it like that before. But the number 1 is the only number in every other number. It's the only number that you could divide another number equally by. Every other number can be divided by the number 1. So that is the God number. So that being said, is there anyone else who wants to chime in and say a point? Go Go
Good
ahead.
morning. You
Good
won't let
morning.
me raise my hand, so that's why I'm mute. I thought
Oh,
you were Pete all along until you show up on the screen because we couldn't see you. I'm like, you sound like the other man.
oh,
I
the other
was
man. Who's the other man? Who's the other man?
that the Pete from England or somewhere.
Oh, you talk about Pete Chapman.
You sound like him.
Are you serious?
Oh my God. I'm like, that wasn't him. I saw the picture now. I said, oops.
Alrighty. Okay. All
Oh
right.
my God.
Where are you from? What part of the world
I,
are you chiming in from?
I'm in Miami, Florida.
All right. So all Englishmen sound the same then, right?
Yeah, it's good. Thanks for the presentation. I'm at work, so I had to hide and listen.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. How did
All
you
right.
find it?
Yeah, you have a wonderful day. I'm drinking it, so like they say, it's real. So
Beautiful, beautiful,
thanks for your
fantastic.
presentation.
You're very, very welcome. Very
Bye
welcome
bye.
indeed. You know, for those who don't know, just to remind you all, we're here every Sunday at midday, where we touch a subject, an illness, a disease that we are all affected by, and the numbers behind it, and the mathematical solution around it. We've got Sister Val has her hand up. Go ahead, my sister.
Hey, greetings, Brother
doing?
Pi.
Mm.
Thank you again for an amazing presentation. And wow, you know, I love the perspective you put on it. I love your topic around dementia, because a lot of us, as we get to a certain age, actually even young, and it is all about the dysbiosis and the vagus nerve and the stomach not connecting properly. So a lot of these labels that's been given, or things, my gosh, it just shows how powerful product like this is. You know, the fact that it can issues for people. Yeah,
Your
I am
volume
not saying
went
anything.
your mic went low. Couldn't hear you for a second. Sorry about that. Could you repeat that?
No, sorry. It's turning around a lot of health issues for people.
Yes.
Obviously, we cannot say cure or heal,
Absolutely.
but we can talk about what it does for us. And I know, using this product and just understanding how my gut works, and the fact that this product has 84 ingredients, and some of that ingredients is, it has all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the God, everything that the body needs. And when you take this, I mean, I've lost about nearly 2 stone in weight, and it wasn't like losing it within 2 weeks, and because that would be a bit something else probably. This is over time, just taking this. It's allowing me to eliminate much better. It's putting into my body the requirements that my body needs, you know. And I started this product because of health issues. And one of those health issues, I can say that, wow, thank God anyway. I thank God him first. Last year, before I started to take this product, I don't know if anyone understand heart injection, or the pressure or the pumping of the blood, but my one went down to 23. Now think about this: the normal is between 55 and 70. My one went to 23. I didn't really understand how serious that was, or I was in denial. But started to use this product, and the last X-ray or scan I had, echocardiogram. That's what. It's risen back. It's risen up to 35. So the next one is due soon. So we'll see where that's gone to. So I just give God thanks anyway for helping Mr. Olson, Kelly Olson, to and Dr. Zach to develop these products. And the great thing about it is it's not GMO, it's gluten free, it's organic, it's everything, because they've gone around the world and they've sourced. I can't remember how many herbs or stuff or plants there is around the world. Something like, oh gosh, I can't remember the numbers on that. I don't know if you had it, but we know that the 84 ingredients they've taken to make this.
It was originally, wasn't it originally 400, and then from the 400 they took 84, something like that, I think.
Something like that, but
Yeah,
in the world there's like 8,000 different herbs and plants and whatever or more.
absolutely.
And
But
then from there,
I
they've
think they
taken
put
the best.
together, yes, they put together 400, and from the 400 they put the very best.
84.
Yes.
Wow. So you know,
Yeah.
a lot of the things all the time, you know, we were hearing eat your 5 a day, you know, 5 a day. And I remember it went up to 12 a day. Fruits, you know, fruits. And we were always told vegetables are good for you, fruits are good for you. But what we didn't know was it's important we have them in combination, like the red,
Absolutely.
the greens, the
Absolutely.
blues, the purple, all the difference. And that's what this company has done. Put them together in 2 sachets. My Lord. Anyway, just wanted to thank you,
Beautiful.
Pi,
Thank
for a
you.
great
Thank you, Sister Val.
presentation.
Thank you
I
very
also
much.
want to just say, I know it's closing up soon, but I want to also say that this evening, this evening at 7 o'clock UK time, and I think that's 2 o'clock US time, Pi will be doing the men's only group. So if you have any men that you want to hear this information, but it's in a safe setting for men, please, Pi's put his number in the chat, or is the link in the chat as well, Pi?
I'll put it in there now. It's the same link today, but I'll put it in there now. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and so that's 7 o'clock. So, and income, it's not competing, but we have also another product presentation at 7 with menopause. You know, mainly looking at issues that women are going through with the menopause, and the links are in the groups for those of you who are in groups. Okay, so thank you so much, and have a pleasant day, everybody. God bless. Thanks, bye.
You're
And
welcome.
I'm getting ready to go off on a cruise.
Bandabby Dozy. When are you off?
Gift from
When are you off?
this week. Tomorrow, to be precise. I'm actually packing while I'm talking to you. So
I feel privileged.
I am grateful and privileged, and I thank God. But I put in the work in order to do this.
Of course.
The company is what's the word? Gifting me this, and everybody on the line, whoever who's in the company, they can also have this next year, because every year the company runs something in August where they show their thanks and gratitude to the members. So we give God thanks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sister Val, and that really piggybacks onto one of my final slides, where I spoke about some of the rewards. You know, those who use the product and it makes them better. You can create your own destiny from it, so to speak. Sister Val is one of the sisters who's jumped on the products, and she shares it emphatically with others. Yes, and it has afforded her to be able to access the cruise that the company put on for those who work tirelessly and put in the effort. And she's one of our stalwart partners one of our leaders here on platform here today. So enough love and respect. So she come on here. I'm glad she came on, and I didn't know she was coming on today, but she's bearing witness that what I mentioned in the presentation about being able to carve out a bit of wealth, life, and whatever for yourself, it certainly is possible. And Sister Val is living proof. So thank you, Sister Val, for coming on today. Truly, truly appreciated. Is there anyone else that would like to say a few words? Don't be shy. If there's anything you want to say about the presentation, about what wasn't said, whatever, go ahead. Hand is raised. Paulette, Sister Paulette,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody. Now, I missed the beginning, but I know how brilliant you are anyway, Pi.
Thank you.
You know, your delivery of presentations is always on par. Now, with regards to myself, I joined. Can you hear me? Because sometimes, unfortunately, my internet.
We can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
So I joined the company in January. I was referred by Pastor Jennifer. I went on the presentation that Dr. Tamir did, which was really good. Asked the questions, she answered my questions, and unbeknownst to Pastor Jennifer, I signed up. She didn't know till the next day. So I started off with some of the Fighter Power products, supplements, Fighter Power B, W, C, and I. Still using the B and the I right now. And because everybody kept going on about the daily 3, I thought, well, I need to try that. At the time, I had floaters, and I used it for a month, and the floaters went, and then P84 came in. Now, and the floaters have gone. Now, the other thing I've omitted to let you know is that 2 years ago, I had a heart attack. And when the doctor told me that I was going to be on medication for life, of course, Paulette, being Paulette, wasn't going to receive that. As far as Paulette was concerned, she was only going to be on it for a while, a small while, and she's going to come off the medications. Anyway, in between, over the years, I've been having my tests, blood tests, and my cholesterols have come down. Now, last year, I like when it gets warm, it would affect my heart and my heart rate. I have to say, since being on P84, I'm like back to normal with more energy. In fact, I do actually feel as though my cells have renewed since starting the daily 3 and the P84. So if that's only after a few months, although they do say to use it for 120 days to 160, which I'm in that, sort of like in that process now. What's it going to be like after a year? So yeah, and then using the X, I used the X one Sunday at 12:15, and I unfortunately, or should I say fortunately, but unfortunately, I went and did the wrong thing. I used it at 12:15 instead of first thing in the morning, and my son and I went for a 3-hour walk, and it kept me awake for about 16 hours. So that gave me a lot of energy. And I'll just give you a testimony with regards to one of my a customer. Her husband has been, he was on dialysis in March, and he's been taken off the dialysis since coming on the P84. So that's my testimony for now, and thank you for listening.
Wow, thank you, Sister Paulette. You know, it just reminds us, you know, each one of us has a story, you know, and no story is better or worse than the other. We're all going through our time, and tribulation, so to speak. And so I can give you many testimonies about a number of the brothers on who joined the men's only program and what they've been going through, you know, and some of the conditions that it's addressing, stuff like erectile dysfunction, prostate cancer, cholesterol, diabetes. Now, I don't suffer from cholesterol. I don't suffer from diabetes. I don't suffer from erectile dysfunction. I don't suffer from any of those. But the point I'm trying to make, what I bring to the table is just a fraction. When other people come to the table and they bring their testimonies, they are a fraction. What do I mean by this? Well, P84 affects each and every one of us in a different time frame. It's going to affect somebody differently who is 1/5 than somebody who's 1/6. But what brings us together is the common denominator. Well, why are we here? Well, we're here because we want a level of understanding. We either know somebody who has dementia, you know, we're either suffering from signs of it ourselves, or we're interested to know how to prolong our good mind state. There is a common denominator. And so all I can say to everybody on the panel is that, you know, P84 will be about your personal journey. And as long as you've got the person who's introduced you to a product holding your hand along the journey, you'll be absolutely fine. Because as I mentioned to you before, you know, I was the biggest skeptic going. And once I started to take these products, my mind totally opened up. Not that it wasn't open before, but because somebody had come and they were telling me something, I think, well, how dare you tell me? I know best about myself. We have all of these kind of way of thinking and things like that and whatever else. But all I can tell you from my perspective and from the many others who I've shared the product with, or those who've come on the product and who have had the product shared with them by others, it's an absolute game changer. Brother Cleverell mentioned his baldness is reversing. He mentioned other things, and that was initially wasn't what he took the product for. People have come on and talked about other products, the Phytopower B, which is a sugar blocker. They've talked about the Phytopower C, which is for calm. The Phytopower I, which is for the immune system. The Phytopower X, which is amazing energy. Phytopower W, weight management. There are so many of these different products. But the P84 incorporates many of those products. And what P84 does, it's no different than when I go into a lecture. When I go into a lecture and I look on the board, it is full of mathematical equations from the last class. I have to clean that board, because if I don't clean the board, anything I put on that board will not be recognizable by the students who are trying to take it in and understand. So by clearing the gut, rebalancing the gut, it allows whatever you say you're going to take, additionally, to have the right effect. It doesn't have to work through a forest of madness, because you have balance and calm within your gut. And all you're doing is adding to what is required. So, that being said, I'm looking at the time. This is now 13:40, 20 to 2 here in the UK. Val, you've got your hand up. Did you want to come back in? Or is that your hand up from a previous?
No, that was legacy.
Legacy. A bit like the Daily Free, P84, right? Legacy. I got you. Okay. Alrighty. Well, as I mentioned, we are here every Sunday and we break down an illness, a disease, so you get a tangible understanding. because sometimes when you try to swallow the information that they give you, whether it be online or wherever, it sometimes just goes over your head. And it's just like, depending on who's saying it, depending on what their intentions are, determines what the influence is on yourself. Here, I move all the mist. Whatever I share with you, I always do it from a mathematical perspective. So I can't make it up because numbers don't lie. So what I try to do, or what I do, is make sure I share with you the topic in hand. We place some of the information around it, and then we strategically put the numbers in place to give you a level of understanding, to pique your interest, so to speak. So that if you are on something and it isn't working, you will recognize that your health, your life is not mystical, but measurable. Alrighty, as I mentioned, we're here every Sunday. I will send out the message in the same format as I did last week. Does anybody have any questions or statements? I've put my details in the chat so you can contact me. Is everybody? Are we serious? Joining at 22. Who's just joined? Who just joined? Was that Sister Hope? Is that you that just joined? Sister Hope, Hope Healthcare AD. Lucretia. Thank you, Lucretia, for your sentiments. Really appreciate it. Those who have just joined, you're joining at the end. We are at the end of today's presentation. We started at midday, and the presentation was on dementia. I've put my details in the chat if you want to get in touch and you want to find out more information. Sister, is it Sister Hope or Sister Eddie? Is that you there? How are you? Can you hear me? Feel free to unmute yourself. No, not a problem if you cannot.
I'm sorry, whose attention were you trying to get?
The front name says Hope Healthcare AD.
Oh, okay, not me.
Sorry, was there something, Sister Angela, was there something that you wanted to say? Protected by Angels, Karen Saint.
No,
Okay.
thank you. I
Sorry.
actually didn't want to say anything. This is my
Oh.
first time listening to you. I usually am
Okay.
not up this early. I'm in Florida.
Oh,
And but I mean, I will be, I'll be up by 8, but not by 7 for sure.
sure.
But I was certainly up for this, and it was good presentation. I did miss a little bit of it because I was multitasking, but I will catch you again next Sunday, I hope.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I have to tell you, I've been on the product. It's been amazing journey for me, just 25 days now. And I'm telling you, the P84 and the Phyto X takes me completely out of pain, other than I'm dealing with some electronic, device pains. When I'm holding my devices, they hurt me. But I know how to get rid of that, right? Get rid of the device. um, but the biological thing, P84 and the Phyto X, really just goes in there and almost immediately takes care of that for me. So I just, again, want to show my gratitude for, the makers and the people and everybody, the presenters and everyone who comes and talks about this product so we can share that with the world. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
Wow. Wow. Humbled by your sentiments. Thank you, my sister. Truly, truly appreciate that. Okay. Alrighty. Well, as I mentioned, go back to who it was who invited you here. Alternatively, you can contact me direct and we can have a conversation and make it happen. We had the men's presentation this evening. I've put the link in the chat, and that's the men's only. It's the same link as this one, but the security is pretty tight. We only let in the men. And I'll be back here next week at midday. So peace and love to each and every one of you. Take care. I'll speak to you all soon. Bye now.
Thanks, Pa. Using the same link, yes?
Using exactly the same link.
Brilliant. And share it around, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
if you like today's session, feel free to share that link. It's the same link every week, so they can join the midday slot. All right.
Okay, bye. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, my brother.
Bye.
Take care. Everybody's welcome. Thank you so much.